Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel Zing RX, and today we're gonna get into this 7x7 lace closure wig. Yes, this is something new, but I told you guys I have been dying to do a wig video, so we're gonna get into a technique that I actually found on Instagram for this wig and these highlights. Honey, let's get into it and stay tuned. Alright guys, so with this part here, I'm just showing you guys how I make my outline of my track placement lines. And what I try to do is I use my left hand in turning my mannequin head for me so that my right hand can be pretty steady and stable. And as you can see, that 7x7 space is huge, y'all. That is a large closure, okay? So I really kind of had to improvise since I'm not used to working with 7x7s. And as you can see, my top right hand up there, it does not move at all when I do this technique. I literally use my left hand or your least dominant hand to turn your mannequin. I do this for everything. And yeah, as you see, I am kind of following the curvature of the closure because it left me no choice. So I did what I had to do, okay? And I'll just make that last line around the whole mannequin head. So now guys, moving on to doubling the tracks. I'm sorry, my table was so shaky, I had to kind of slow it down. But I only did 2 bundles, so I only doubled 2 bundles of 16-inch, and you'll see coming up, my sewing machine ran out of freaking thread. So annoying. Here I am just pretty much placing the thread back in the needle. And so while rethreading that, I am going to put it up under the foot pedal there. And she should be working good just like before. Alright guys, so you guys remember the last line that I just showed you? That's where we're going to start off placing our double track. That's the first point, and I always start off regular sewing and then I do the back reversal sew. You want to do this a couple of times, of course, to make sure that your track is in place and is super stable, so you don't have to worry about it lifting or the thread coming apart. So you guys see that? Look at that. Just neat, honey. It's giving neat. It's giving you know what you're doing, okay? Period. Always make sure when following your guidelines that you want to be as on top of the line with your track as much as you possibly can, so that you are truly following the size and the shape and everything of the measurements of your mannequin head, okay? Also, it's so imperative to not ever stretch your cap while doing this. I know in the beginning stages when I first learned how to sew on a wig cap, I was stretching my dome caps like crazy, and it is so important to not do that. Just let the sewing machine guide you, kind of be very light-handed, and just make sure it's no wrinkles when you do or lay the tracks down while sewing, and you're fine. You do not have to stretch the cap. The cap is already stretchy, guys, so do not make that mistake like I did, because it's gonna come out lumpy and bumpy. You don't want that. very simply put, using my basic white powder with my 40 volume developer, we are now about to bleach the closure. And I do it pretty much, how everyone else does it. I mix it, make sure it's like a very thick consistency so that it doesn't, bleed through the lace and over bleach my knots. But sometimes that over bleaching, it definitely happens, whether or not you're trying to avoid it or not avoid it, whatever the case is. Somehow for me, it just always ends up like that. But I'll be showing you guys a technique that I learned that really helped me out with this. It's basically foolproof. Guys, so you guys remember what I was talking about as far as fixing the brassiness. So I'm going to take my liquid processing solution from Generic Value and a demi-gloss clear from Redken, and also I'm going to take a Generic Value product, medium neutral blonde in 8N. It's like a demi-gloss or demi-permanent rather type of color, and I'm just going to mix those together. Now what this does is it basically helps tone any type of brassiness that you run into when doing any type of bleaching, whether it's on your lace closure, whether it is on hair. We have all had issues with blondes looking too brassy, and I use this now for everything. And I actually got these tips from your girl, Hair Diagram. That's my girl. I love watching her. She is a true genius at what she does, and she does this technique effortlessly. And when she showed this, I was like, yes, that was the answer to my prayers. We're just gonna mix this up. And even though my closure is still being processed, I just knew already, because I don't know why I've done everything else to try to combat brassiness, and somehow for some reason it just always turns out the same for me. So maybe I'm just one of the unlucky ones, but now that I have this recipe for taking down the brassiness and toning my knots, I will be using this from now on. Y'all, do you see that? Look at this. Look at those knots, over bleached, okay? Over bleached, looking like the sun gave birth to them knots, okay? We don't need those type of knots. So we're gonna add that solution that I showed you guys. Super easy. You can put that on, put it on, slather it up. And then I just let it sit for about 10 minutes. You probably don't even need that much time. But yeah, you can let it get down to like 5 to 10 minutes and you'll be good. So I'm just going to make my powder and developer mix for my highlights. I'm using Blonde Me, the bleach powder lightener, and I ordered that from Amazon, and it works really good. Definitely takes your levels up a notch. is where the magic is. I'm just showing you guys the needle that came with this cap, y'all. So this is like a small hook that comes with the cap that I got from the beauty supply store. It is called a tipping or frosting cap, and what it does is it helps create this balayage, I think that's how you say it, this balayage or balayage technique, and highlights in your hair. And it was really interesting just seeing how I was doing it. It was just like, okay, I could see how they, got this idea. It was everything. Just wait, you'll see. Y'all, so you'll see me here just putting on all of the bleach. Yes, I am being very ghetto while I'm doing this, y'all. I was tired and I did not have time to really try to put aluminum foil between each piece. I don't have time for that, so I just kind of much slathered all of the bleach mixture on all of the exposed pieces coming out of the cap, and it was a very, very efficient way of doing things. I was pleased. So I had a good outcome, and so I wasn't mad at this process at all. As you guys can see, the color is turning. It's turning, and I cannot wait to take this cap off, y'all. This is the outcome. Oh my god, after I washed and conditioned this wig, I was blown away. Look at this. This is like super fire, okay? Super fire, super fire, super fire. Like, it definitely came out better than I expected. Alright y'all, so I'm just going to start the flat ironing process using my turn up the heat heating spray or protectant spray, and I will be using my Conair. I believe this is like a 1.5 inch flat iron. I bought them from Walmart. I had them for over 2 years now and I haven't had any issues. And yeah, we're gonna silk press this baby out. Alright guys, so now for the plucking process. It's really not that different from any plucking tutorial that you've seen so far on YouTube. I usually just take out a thin line in front of the closure, and then I start plucking. I always make sure it's damp, and then I move on to like a second row. I never do like a third row though. Some people do. I don't. I tend to I used to over pluck when I first started, so this kind of helps me regulate my plucking. And then at the very end, always at the very end, brush, comb all of the hair back, and then start at the very beginning of the hairline so that you can get a better depiction of how your hairline is gonna look. Although we already toned and everything, as you can see, it's not brassy anymore on the part. It is still light, right? So we want to just make sure that we don't have a huge part on our wig or anything like that because of how blonde it is. So I just use a very simple semi-permanent color. I believe it's like Dark and Lovely I'm using, or something like that, and like dark brown. And I'm just using a spoolie to kind of brush the roots a little bit so that that part can be a little bit thinner. Alright guys, so I had to take the wig off of my mannequin head real quick so that I can kind of see where I should cut and start cutting my layers, because if I cut them too short it would have been an issue, and if I would have cut them too long then I would have had to do it all over again. So just in case, if you really are unsure and this is a wig you're making for yourself, just start the cutting on yourself a little bit so you can kind of get like a idea of where to start cutting it. So yeah, the baby hairs are no longer there right now, but they will be, honey. You'll see. Yes, honey. Okay, we're showing you guys this jagged edge that I created using some arts and crafts shears from Amazon. It has the jagged edge because y'all, I'm not good at everything, and using a razor to cut my lace is definitely not in my expertise. I'm just being honest. So I am just using my RK foundation with the two different color shades. I always use the darkest one, and I just use my kabuki brush. All of this is from the beauty supply store. Okay, you don't have to use anything fancy to help you out with tinting or coloring your lace. And I know you guys are looking at me like, is she gonna change her, stocking cap or wig cap? No, I'm not. I'm using a black cap. I have a legit box of 100 pieces because you don't need to wear a ball cap method for everything. You definitely don't need to wear a beige cap when wearing all your wigs. It just doesn't, it's not necessary. You guys, you're gonna see. I'm gonna show y'all right now. So right now I am using my Ebene Wonder Lace adhesive spray in extreme firm hold. The black hand to be exact. This is the best one as far as longevity and actually adhering to your head. Okay, it's not like glue, but it will stick for a decent amount of time. I love this stuff. So I'm gonna just do 2 light layers of this. Nothing too dramatic. I really think like I don't know, I didn't really measure my closure. I'm just thinking to myself like, okay, I'm used to 5 by 5. It's like temple to temple. This one is just past your temple, so they, it should be able to be about the same size. And if it starts dripping and you have a face full of makeup on like I do, you just pat that spray on in, honey. Just pat it on off with a little towel. No, I do not use a blow dryer when I do this, only after the fact, after I actually lay the lace, because I just find that sprays they tend to dry quickly to me, and I just would rather put it down while it's still just a little wet. It doesn't have to be super soaking wet on your head to put it down, but I'll give it a little time, probably about 10 seconds, and then I apply my wig. I'm just blow drying my lace on the lowest warm setting. Not cool, but warm. And I'm just using my rat tail comb to kind of, press it in. Make sure none of those stray hairs are stuck down, though. That's like one of my pet peeves. lace. Do you see it? Do you see it? Okay, it's the lace for me. I really play too much. I don't even know what song I'm listening to, but I'm clearly feeling myself, and I haven't even been done styling this yet. Oh my God, this is beautiful. I'm in love. In love. Alright, y'all. This is probably your favorite part too when doing a wig or your real hair, whatever. I absolutely love doing my baby hairs. It's like my favorite part. I am just putting my Nairobi foam on there. I don't know if it's like setting foam or setting mousse, whatever. But yeah, that's what I use now for all of my baby hairs. I just love the look of it. And when you have makeup on, it's kind of hard doing your edges. Some people it's not. I see a lot of people who do them effortlessly, and I am, again, not one of those people. I have to improvise and compromise when it comes to having makeup on and doing hair at the same time. So I'm just using my foundation two-tone by RK again, and also the darkest color, and I am just putting that, or it might be the lightest color, but I'm definitely just using a eyeliner brush to apply it on my part so that my part can be a little bit more defined. Guys, so as you can see, this wig is absolutely gorgeous. I am like obsessed with this, and if you guys are interested in seeing another video like this from me, please like, comment down below and let me know if that's what you guys want, and just subscribe to my channel so you guys can always get my videos every time I upload. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I really do appreciate you guys. See you guys next time. Bye.